Hi everyone, welcome to another video. Last weekend we put out the very first video of the year, casting number 1 of the new Ranalah bodies, and the response has been so good. Cheering me on, encouraging, thanking, and just brilliant. So I just wanted to say a very quick thank you to everybody that's watched that video and everybody that's left me really positive comments. I've had loads of messages on Instagram and YouTube and everywhere. Thank you very much. And you can show your support by subscribing to the channel. I know it doesn't seem like a lot just clicking that subscribe button, but believe it or not, it does make a huge difference for us. These videos do take an awful lot of time to put together, myself and Dan editing them all. And by hitting that subscribe button, you're doing both of us a huge favor and helping us out. So show your support, hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching. Let's get into today's video.
Good morning everyone. Thank you for joining me for another video. I hope you're all doing well. It's first thing in the morning, far too early, Monday morning. Just started to get light. We're up and out, we're in the van. That can only mean one thing. We are going on an adventure. I may have bought myself quite a large Christmas present. I've got to go a couple of hours, 2.5 hours or so drive to get there to meet a lovely old lady that's got something quite amazing in her shed, which is going to be very helpful for the workshop. It's an exciting day.
And just like that, I've got a Bridgeport. The best Christmas present I could have asked for. I have wanted one of these machines for a long time. If you're not sure what one of these machines is, it's a milling machine. Imagine like a drill press, like a pillar drill, but like a chuck at the top there that holds a drill or like a cutting tool. You can drill holes, but you can also, the part that you're drilling a hole in, you can move left and right, up and down, back and forwards. So you can make slotted holes, you can machine surfaces. Basically, they're a very versatile tool for machining. It's one of those things I've needed a few times, and it's kind of like, I need a mill. I need to just surface that off. We've needed one on the repair shop a few times, actually. I restored a vise on there, and it just needed the top of it where it had been rusty and sort of pitted. It needed the top just skimming off, and that would be perfect on this sort of tool because you can clamp it to the bed that slides left and right, and then just machine off and skim off the very top thin layer of metal. Very, very precise, very accurate, very, very clever piece of machinery. Very big, very heavy, very hard to find. They've been making these machines for years. This one was made in the late 70s, so it is quite old. This one, it kind of almost found me. It popped up online for sale, and I was just like, oh, that looks nice. I did actually go down to visit it, to visit the old lady, Vivian. Sadly, her husband was the machinist. He passed away, and he had a workshop in his back garden. His son was still around and used to work with his dad in this workshop. Repaired, built, rebuilt, restored, remote control aeroplane engines. So this Bridgeport has been in their workshop in the back garden of Vivian's house for the last 25, 28 years, I think they said it's been there. It's in its original paint. It's all there, it's complete. It's got the digital readout, manual feed table, so I can push a lever and the beds will slide on their own. It's a fancy bit of kit. It's way too fancy for me. You know I'm clearing out my bank account very, very quickly with buying Ranalah parts and wheeling machines and components for that. Well, this is part of the Ranalah journey, mainly the lower cradle. You can see this is in its raw state. That's as I get it from Chris from the foundry. All these extra runner bits poking out, they'll be cut off. But basically this is the raw casting as I get it from the foundry, and I need to convert that and transform that and machine that into this finished article. You can see the finished one has beautiful machined surfaces. It's all to size, it's all nice and square. The base is perfectly 90 degrees to the uprights. The holes drilled and tapped and threaded. All of that work is done on this machine. All of the machining, drilling, tapping, boring out the hole in the middle, facing off the bottom, all of that work to convert this raw casting to the finished article is done on this machine. I had to pay an engineer over the road from the workshop to do it. The engineer has done a beautiful job of machining this lower cradle, but he also charged me a lot of money. And the whole point of me reviving the Ranalah brand and bringing back these wheeling machines is so that I can make them accessible to people, so that people can have them and use them and buy them and enjoy them. The costs are just spiraling out of control. Things are getting more and more expensive, and you need more and more components for them, and every single bit is another cost, another cost, another cost. The more I can do myself, the cheaper they can be. And if I'm doing the work, I can come here on a Sunday and have 5 or 10 of these lower cradles here lined up, spend all day machining them, and it's only my time that I've lost. So this is a way of me trying to keep the costs down for the Ranalah project by spending a fortune buying this thing. You know what, I actually really quite like being able to do as much as possible myself in my workshop here. Other than the casting, obviously, the turned parts are going to be done by the guy over the road because I can't quite get there yet. I'm not good enough at doing the turned parts. I've got a little lathe, but it's nowhere near big enough or good enough to do that. This lower cradle from Chris, the part will come here and I'll be able to do everything, including the little spacers that sit in there that hold the wheel, all the little bits, the drilling, the tapping, the threading for the holes, the boring of the hole, the facing off. I'll be doing all of it on this. Okay, confession time. I have no idea how to use this thing. Literally no idea. I'm fairly competent with machinery and pillar drills and lathes and things like that. This is another world. This thing is so complicated. Luckily, Vivian did give me the instruction manual, which is fantastic. So I've got some evening reading to do. But actually, you can all help me. I know a lot of you out there are ex-engineers or machinists. So anyone out there that can guide me on how on earth, I need like an idiot's guide, basic how to get started on using a Bridgeport. In my initial looking into it, my brother, Dan, he's very good with things like this. He said, you need to look at, what was it? Tramming? So, which is basically setting up the head to making sure it's at 90 degrees. There's all sorts of adjustments on this machine. The head can tip left and right, forwards and backwards. It can do all sorts of things. And I need to make sure that it's set at dead on 0. We are talking very, very small measurements, like tenths of an inch. I've ordered a special bracket already to bolt it onto the machine so I can use my dial indicator to make sure it's all set at 0. But if anyone out there can help me and give me a bit of advice or send me some good YouTube videos or some good books that I should buy. I am jumping straight in at the deep end here. I have no idea how to use this machine. I can barely turn it on. It works, I know it works, I've seen it working in their workshop. It's now a case of figuring out how to set this thing up to get it all nice and set to 0. I'll be able to do it. I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually, but anyone out there that can help, let me know. I have no real tooling for this milling machine. You need almost like a set of drill bits, but they're like cutters. You get all sorts of different things, boring bars for cutting big holes. I need all of these things, and I have none. I have actually absolutely nothing. So I think I'm going to be spending a bit more money on tooling. So actually, if you can advise me at all on where to get some decent tooling from. I don't need tons, I just need milling bits, end mills, and the boring bar. But if anyone can guide me on any links to which ones to buy, I would rather buy new ones instead of getting old sort of blunt resharpened and start getting into resharpening and things like that. So I was lucky enough to get the original Bridgeport cabinet to go with it, which has got these awesome little sort of like hinge out, fold out drawers and little recesses to take all of the collets and all of the tool holders, all the bits, all the cutters, everything will fit in these nice little drawers. It's lovely. It's a really cool thing to have. And now I just need to fill it up. I was telling Vivian, I was like, your husband looked after it clearly for many, many years. And now it's over to me, and I will do my best to look after this thing. You open this door on the side and it's got a huge big diagram of oiling points and where to grease this, where to oil that. And then down below that on the side of the machine, it's got this sort of a pump almost. It's a reservoir with a pump and then pipes coming out of it that go into manifolds that have loads of pipes coming out of that. And these pipes go everywhere on this machine. They are all oiling pipes. So I think you pump that handle, sort of lubricates all of the moving parts. Get it powered up and see if it turns on, and see if I can get it spinning. But before I start using it, I'm going to make sure I figure out this oiling system and get everything greased up nicely. This switch at the top, that's the power to the main motor that's going to get the whole thing spinning. That is so good. It's working. It's spinning, it sounds really nice and quiet. There's no horrible grinding bearings or anything like that. So this little red one is the controls for the manual feed table. So this lever engages left and right, and in here there's a gearbox. So I have to engage the gearbox, push it one way, and then one of these switches will turn on the motor, and it should send it across, which is an extra feature. Not all machines have that, but it'd be really handy on the back, on the bottom side of the cradle. Big flat surface like that, it can just push the lever across, press a button, and it will continue track across at a set speed, which I can adjust depending on what we're doing. So that is an awesome feature. How cool is that? So then if I stop it, engage the lever the other way, and then start it again, it should go back the other way. Perfect. Right, I'm going to stop. I can literally see there's a sort of like an eyeglass on the front for the oil level, and it's completely empty. So I really don't want to push my luck and do that too many times, because I know it's all a bit dry and it needs a bit of lubrication. Please leave me a comment, I will give it a read, and if you can help me, it would be very, very much appreciated. I am over the moon. I'm so pleased. There's no stopping us now. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next time, and don't forget, please subscribe to the channel, because it really does help us out with the numbers and the YouTube algorithms, however on earth they all work. Thank you very, very much, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Dan, this is for the thumbnail. Hey, we've got a Bridgeport.